Number one, we want to build quality young men. We don't want to produce, just a quantity of men. We want to produce a quality young man. And we think if we're doing that, we make a better person. We're going to get a better athlete. So we're just teaching these guys, about doing things the right way. You put out good things into the air, you're going to get good things back. So that's the number one thing. We want to build a good quality young man for the community.
Episode 139 featured Jeff Phillips, the head football coach at Campbell High School right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Coach Phillips and I spoke about the importance of hard work, willingness to take on challenges, and the need for young coaches especially to let go of their egos. He also expressed his goal of building quality young men through his program and his belief in fostering relationships with his players. Also excited to collaborate with our friends over at Coach and Share, the go-to online marketplace for coaches to buy and sell products. I hope you guys enjoy the episode today. It's going to be very exciting, so let's dive right in.
Originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I got into coaching thanks to my mom. She always kept telling me that I would be a really good coach one day. And of course, as a kid, you don't ever really listen to your parents. So, but I got in, came from Knoxville, Tennessee, spent 7 years there coaching at my high school alma mater, Austin-Knox High School. Moved to Georgia during COVID, which was crazy. During COVID, Ann was having a baby. Spent a year over at Wheeler with Coach Love, and then got the head job at North Springs. 2 years there, and then last year I made the transition over to Campbell, and it's been amazing ever since I made that move.
Yeah, so can you talk more about your time at Campbell?
So it's been great. I think when I came down and during COVID, I came and visited some schools, just kind of just looking around, kind of learning the landscape. And, funny thing is Campbell was a school I came by. I remember watching them practice one time in the morning, and I just kept looking like, okay, that's a nice place. I like it, like the area. And a funny story about it, and I think it's just kind of a manifestation story. So I was at Wheeler, and the quarterback that I had at Wheeler at the time, he was a transfer from Campbell, and he actually, I just believe this. He manifested that I would get the job. I remember him telling me, he said, "Hey, in 2 years, you could probably be the head coach at Campbell High School." And sure enough, 2 years later, I'm actually the head coach at Campbell High School, and so that's a funny story. But it's been great. It's been amazing. With the administration here, just getting into the community, and the kids, they're itching to be successful, and that's all you want when you're trying to rebuild a program or create a program and get some success. You want everybody to want to be good, and then actually put in the necessary time and effort to try to be successful, to be one of the best programs around. So it's been amazing since I've been here.
And the biggest thing I took out of what you just said is really you just have to be ready when your time comes. And
Oh yeah,
one of the things that I always draw back on from one of the coaches that I've had a lot of respect for, the Tom Landry. So he always talks about the will to prepare is more important than the will to succeed. So can you talk about what preparation is meant for you, and especially like when your time came to become the head coach,
yeah,
how did you prepare to get to that point?
yeah. So you know, you can't be afraid of challenges. When I got here, you hear all the stories about all the challenges that it will be at Campbell. So for one, you can't be afraid to take on a challenge. Everybody's not going to be handed the keys to a Ferrari. You're not going to, and that's just the way it is. You got to build what you want. In every program that I've been in, and I've been the head coach at the last, two stops I were, they were schools that had potential, and then they just needed to put in the work. You can't be afraid to just hit the ground running, put on your hard hat, get to working, get to building, and continue to develop the area. So you have to be prepared, constantly working with guys, studying, but you just have to be, as the head coach, you have to be willing to put yourself out there, take those chances, have that no fear mindset, to where you're not afraid. You're not afraid to take on challenges. You're not afraid to go out there to do things that what they say other people may not want to do, and that's just kind of how it's been. That's how I've always had it: just studying, learning, working, reading. Just all those things, but always having a great mindset of saying, "Hey, I'm willing to build, and I'm excited about it."
Thanks again to our friends over at Coach and Share for sponsoring today's podcast. I checked out the website and they have a lot of interesting products from guides to templates. Definitely check it out. It's called coachingshare.com. You really hit the nail on the head there. At the end of the day, it all comes down to hard work. And your ability to work is directly correlated to the amount of success you're going to have.
Oh
And
yeah.
and I think for a lot of people too, yes, you have to work hard, but at the same time, you also have a direction and you have to have goals for where your program is going.
Yep.
So what are your some of your goals, coach, and how have you defined those over the years?
Yeah. So we our biggest thing we just say we want to number one we want to build quality young men. We don't want to produce just a quantity of men. We want to produce a quality young man. And we think if we're doing that, we make a better person. We're going to get a better athlete. So we're just teaching these guys about doing things the right way. You put out good things into the air, you're going to get good things back. So that's the number one thing. We want to build a good quality young man for the community. And in doing that, that's going to allow us to build one of the programs that you want your child to play for. And I am a firm believer. I'm going to be a coach that I want my child to play for. I want to have a program that's going to represent the pinnacle of high school football or just football in general, because a lot of kids don't get to go to college and play. For when I was growing up, high school was everything. Everybody couldn't wait to be playing high school football. And I think, a lot of kids have lost that a little bit now, like how special high school football is. But that's just what we want to build. We want to build the pinnacle. We want to make it one of the best programs in the state. And that's our goal. Every year we want to strive for championships. I believe that if you're not coaching or preaching or working to win a championship, then you're just wasting your time. You're just out here just to be out here, and you're not teaching the kids about perseverance. You're not teaching the kids about having to compete, work, because in everyday life with jobs, we tell them all the time, and you can be whatever you want. You just have to go out there and work like crazy to get it. And
Yeah.
our football team can be whatever we want it to be. We just have to work and go get it and not complain about what we don't have. But let's go ahead and take what we have, make it better. And as you continue to make it better, you're going to get those things that you so-called don't have. And so that's our goals every year. Is always going to be to win a championship, no matter what it is. That's going to be the number one. But it's most important to have a program that every kid is going to have love and they want to be a part of this program. They have a family atmosphere.
Yeah, and when you have all those pieces to the puzzle, like when you're working hard, when you have a culture in place and you have direction and you have goals, I think the next piece is really just to be patient. Just stick with
Yeah,
it every
yeah.
day. And it's not going to happen overnight, especially like you were saying, if you're not handed the keys to
No.
the Ferrari, you have to be patient. And I was actually just reading about something this morning. Bobby Bowden, he didn't win his first championship until I think he was in his 28th season coaching. So
Yeah,
you have to have that patience and,
yeah, for sure.
especially as a coach, but also for the student athletes. So
Oh yes,
with
for sure. Everybody does.
yeah. So with all that said, coach, if you had to go back to when you were just getting started off coaching, knowing what you know now,
Oh yeah.
what would you change?
For one, my coming in, I took it. I became a head coach at 28. One of the things was I had never coached before. I came straight from playing, um, and obviously as a 28-year-old, being a head coach for the first time, never coaching, um, you have an ego. You have an ego of you wanted to try to prove that, oh, I'm this great coach, I'm this great guy. My ego and the arrogance of my ego, I would say, what needed first things first is check that and understand you are not as smart as you think you are. You're, I think that hurt me. Not. I think I just was talking to some coaches about that the other day. Had my ego not got in the way, I probably would have already won a state championship or two, because I would have done some things a little bit different, a lot differently. Um, just in those time frames, had some success and I had those things. But at 28 years old, I had to really realize real quick that you already won the job. You don't have to prove anybody else right. You went in there, you interviewed well, you got the job, you're the head coach. You don't have to be um, this so-called guru. You need to do your job, and that was
Yeah, and that
the
just
number one
comes
thing
with
for me.
experience.
Yes, that was the number one thing for me in those years, those first 2 years that I was in Tennessee. Um, I started getting better, and I started realizing as I've gotten older, going this now be my 11th or I can't really think it's 11 or 12th year as a head coach. Um, I realized that it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. At the end of the day, it's about the kids winning and having fun, and that's the program success. But that would be the number one thing I would change. I would tell myself, check your ego at the door.
Yeah. No, it's great stuff, Coach. Any
Yeah.
last words you want to share with the audience?
Oh no, I just like I said, I'm truly blessed and highly favored. I think everything that's happened for me as a coach has been manifested. It's all a part of God's plan. I've just believed it. Even when I got my first job, it happened at the right time. It was what was needed to be done. Me coming down to Georgia, it's happened at the right time. I tell everybody, no matter what it is, the plan has already been laid out. I'm built for this. Um, I enjoy it, but again, it's not. This is not in my hands. This is already in God's hands. This is what I was meant to do. I'm great at it. He's giving me the opportunity to do this. So I just want to. I praise God for that. Thank my family for everything. And for just the main thing for me is just I'm big on relationships with the kids. Build on love. And just build on just keeping that family atmosphere around. So that's just kind of who I am. And I do appreciate every opportunity that I get.
Great stuff there, Coach. Really appreciate you sharing today and appreciate
Yeah,
you
oh, yeah.
being on the podcast today. So best of luck to you guys as you continue with winter workouts and go into the spring
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're excited. So looking for big things.